Okay, so what I did was I removed the air cleaner, and I see that there's a little blowback that got some moisture into the oil. The middle two cylinders have coolant in them. So also this valve had some coolant that came out of it, the EGR valve. So what I'm going to do is I pressure tested it, and I think that it filled up these two cylinders, and that means that I need to remove head. Okay, then you pull these guys out. This one's okay. This one's a little bit wet. Remove this intake because I need to get this off the top, and I need to get this fuel rail out of here, and then pull this electrical off. So it looks like that would be the next step to getting there, removing this. Looks like there's one screw here, one screw here, and then this poly just pulls right off. Remove this little guy. Can't see him. He comes out of here. I guess we'll take this guy off. Okay, so I'm going to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trying to get off all this stuff. Okay, there's that big plug too that you got to unplug. So we'll do that. Okay, to get this off, it's connected to the fuel injectors down right there. To get in there easier, there's this metal thing right here that's got to come out, 210 millimeters. So I'll pull that out and then remove the fuel rail. Looks like the fuel rail is connected over here to this, but it has to come off. And that should do it. I still can't get this guy undone, but we'll get him soon. Okay, so I got this thing undone right down here. He came right off. I just pulled, there's a little tab thingy underneath here, and you just push that up and it slides off. And then I pulled it and it came right off. Okay, so now I gotta get this fuel rail off, which is connected over here, so I'm going to remove all these little hoses things over here. Looks like if I pull this guy out, it should disconnect. I'll pull that one off and pull this off the crankcase ventilation. And there looks like there's electronic wire down there that needs to come off, while keeping a watch on that high voltage line. Okay, so we got to remove a couple more things. This guy, I took off the holder for the throttle that goes on the top there. Now we got to get into this side. This is the thermostat housing, and all of the liquid goes into there. Maybe pull off this sock here, and to make it easier I have to get all this electrical to go from this side over to that side. Same with the fuel rail. There's a fuel line right here which is not coming off so well. It looks like we can get it off back here actually. Okay, well, that's fuel. And it's off now. Okay, so I removed the thermostat housing on the side and the intake thing. I need to get these out of my way. These two wires that go down into there, they're the throttle control. So we're going to get rid of that. And all this stuff should move out of my way, hopefully. Okay, so I folded all of that stuff back. It's off the top. Looks like I have to take this guy off because he's not going to go on. We have to remove the intake. Then on the back side of the motor we have that. I don't know if we have to take him off. The shroud right there could probably come off. I gotta take off that one more hose right there. This front motor mount needs to come off. So that's the next project. So I'd say I'm about a quarter of the way through. This is what it looks like. Okay, so we have this thing. This bracket is attached into the head here, so we have to remove it. Besides that, I guess we're going to pull the valve cover off, and then I pulled the shroud off. I didn't take out the O2 sensor, but I think if I just take these bolts out back here, I should be able to slip the head off. Same with the front. If I pull these guys out down here, there's two back in there that I don't know how to get to, but we'll work on that. I think we go through here, but I'm not sure. Oh, and then we have the motor mount over here, which I pulled the ground wire off of, but I need a deep socket for that. And then we gotta see what else is over here. The dipstick looks like it's attached to the head back there. Okay, so I did some research, and it looks like I have to take off the whole front of this, which means that I have to remove the crank pulley and the water pump pulley down there. I might just pull off all this crap, make it easier to get in there. Okay, so I have this. There's a thing that says up right there. And then I marked it, this little line right there, and hopefully this all lines up when I put it back together. Down here on the bottom, I loosened this guy. I used a big breaker bar, took a little bit of pressure. We have to get rid of him because there's two screws right behind here. So I'm going to pull the pulley off, hopefully by hand. I got it off. You can see that there's one here and one here that have to come off. So I'm going to pull those off. Oh, and it looks like there's one right up there to the left that I didn't get yet. Okay, so we're going to try and separate this. There's gasket maker on it, so it's a little stuck. If I pry from the bottom, it should come off. Let's look down there. Okay, so we have off that. Now those the rails down here, this is connected with one on this side, and it looks like that one's on the head too. So we have to remove those two screws. And then the head should pop off. Well, we got to pull this off. So we hold that with a wrench, and then this will turn and then the whole head should pull off. Okay, so we pulled off the front pulley here. I tied a string around it where it was marked on my pulley right there, so that even though I made a mark in it, I'll definitely be able to tell where that went. So now this has to come off in a pattern. So you start here and then you go diagonal, up, diagonal, up, diagonal. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I'm not sure what has caused anything. These seem to be there's that weird oil thing right there, and it looks like there's a little connection right in here maybe is causing something. We'll have to look at the gasket. Okay, so we're gonna have to remove this and this to send it out, and it looks like the two center ones, like notice how those two, this one was running correctly and this one was running correctly. This one not so much, and that one a little bit less. Okay, it's time to reassemble. The first thing we did was we cleaned the surface, made it look nice. Same with the intake. We got off most of that stuff. I'll get off those little pieces. And so we clean it off, lay the head gasket on there.